Okay, folks. I don't know if George is going to make it.
No, he's sleeping.
Yeah.
Or he
I-
should sleep. God
Yeah,
damn it.
I told him to go be Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah. Ditto. So good. He didn't answer.
Sweet. I guess we should do the thing.
You're cutting out a little bit, Carl.
Oh my god, I hate my mic.
Get a better mic.
Do you have?
I mean, you have a
Get a
really
better-
good mic in front of you.
Get a better face.
Do you have auto activation in Discord going? Is that?
I do, but it's
Threshold
like
based. 'Cause that's what it sounds like. It sounds like the threshold's too low.
There. Let's try that.
Very good.
821. Who wants to go?
I guess I can go. So yesterday, I had a really frustrating grapple with recording on my laptop. I have some salvageable footage, but a lot of it has really bad frame rate and was skipping around. So I think I'm just gonna give up on it and open up Ed's computer and set up that all up today so that I can also start streaming and recording more regularly. So that'll be probably the first part of my day post one-on-one with Carl, and we'll spend the rest of the afternoon getting that set up and then record the rest of the script, which
Made a
is
massive
almost there.
difference for me going to a desktop for that sort of thing. So
Yep. So I will probably bump someone to help me test out streaming at some point once I have Ed's computer set up. But other than that, should mostly be that. I do have a physical therapy appointment this afternoon, so I will be out for about an hour around 4. But other than that, I should be on for most of the evening. So yeah, that's me.
nice.
Ant.
Yesterday, stuff, lots of miscellaneous things. The settings menu is roughly done with this. All the settings that are there that I feel are worthwhile, and they all work. Yep. The new things, you have volumes and some quality things. There's other quality things I didn't put in there, like view distance, which doesn't really matter for our game, so I'm not putting that in. So, yep, cool. That's a thing. Hans is working on making it look prettier than the black box that it is. So did a bunch of there. The analytics is all. I got that in yesterday. Pieces of that. I got faction, little like tags flying up whenever you gain or lose the faction with a name with the up or down arrows, and it's colorized green or red. It happens like above the faction button, like
Nice.
if they're going up and down. So you get some feedback on that. Time scale has all been changed across the board, so
Nice.
it feels very consistent at that point. Is there anything else that I really messed with yesterday? I think that was most of it.
When do you want to work on stats submission?
Whenever you feel ready to. If you have a server that you want me to send it to, and then generally like what format you want the JSON in.
Yeah. Okay. So
like I'm pretty sure this will upload to wherever I tell it to upload now, and it's
basically going to be, it'll be the same base server and username password that we bake in, and then it'll be a different URI. So I'll give you the full path.
But yeah, yep, that'll be fine. So yeah, today we'll do that. Today I want to make it so that a ship that has a faction that is mutinous will leave the fleet. Like, that sounds simple, but there's a number of things that we just don't have for that. So I just need to make the ship turn and basically just kind of putter off screen, and go away. Or I could just make it blow up, because I could do that too, and that's already in the game. But seems the wrong choice. But I think that's the last piece of the faction stuff I need to get in, is for that to be happening. I fixed I won't say, just a number of bugs as I've come across them. Brandon, you posted those crash things. I've been trying to figure out why that's happening. It's garbage collection, I'm pretty sure. Like, things are just objects are being destroyed. We do not want to be destroyed just automatically by Unreal, because they're not being flagged as the right type of variables, properties. So I
am doing weird stuff.
I'm going very nuclear option on a lot of things here, of making sure that things are tagged as U properties everywhere that we need them to be. Although if you are doing crazy things, I don't know then. Maybe there's just some crazy edge case that I don't know about.
A lot of it is about, I don't know. I've done so many things like changing settings, blowing up my own ships, restarting the game like after losing, and doing things like that.
Maybe,
so
I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, we had a design time yesterday, by the way.
Oh yeah, we did have a design time as well. Hans.
Yeah. So yesterday was lots of more additional UI work. Spent a little bit more time on stats. Got through most of that. So I think we will be ready to test stats either today or early tomorrow at the latest.
Yeah.
So I'll get Anthony some information today, and we can start to see if we can get some submission going. I'm going to continue through on the options menu. Get more of that done today. I'm trying to think if there are any other major chunks. Oh, I need to go through the the ship dialog box and get that fixed today, and probably apply a little more theming to the installations, and try, because I think that's also where some of the scaling issues are coming from, is in the installations area. So I'll spend a little bit of time in there today. If anybody else has areas that they feel like as you're playing around, you're like, this area needs some focus. The only one that I feel like is left is really the planet dialog box. And I don't know if we want to do that before we push on Monday. I can, if we want to. I could at least bring it closer, which I think is probably worth it.
I think closer, and then just a little bit, and even if it has no closer, don't put anything in it that doesn't have functionality right now.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't add the ability buttons or anything in there.
Yeah,
or anything. Like just leave that completely out right now, because like right now the assign ship button's even in this current one, and I'd be like, let's take that out. It doesn't work, so why is it there?
The assign. See, and some of this is going to be some of this I may need to hit you up, like, is this working? Is this not working?
No, it's not working at all.
Okay, so assign ship needs to come out. The whole assign ship area.
Because we're just it's not, functionality is not going to be there for it, and so don't make it look like it can do anything right now.
But so we also don't want anything like in the planet thing when something's acting on that planet. We don't want any indicator in there that.
I mean, not right now. Like, we don't have that we really just don't have that functionality.
That is now completely disconnected, because it used to, it was working for a little while.
It does not work anymore. Like, you can't assign shit. Like, it doesn't.
The whole thing out now.
As far as I can tell, it doesn't show anything of what's happening to a planet in there.
Okay, it used to show a progress bar, but it must not anymore.
Not that I've been able to see for a while.
Okay, cool. So I'll go through that and the ship and planet menus, and try and just make them converge a little bit so they don't feel so divergent, and then try and tidy that up in terms of functionality for the release on Monday. And then at that point, I'm going to walk away from the UI unless somebody's like, this needs to be fixed, this needs to be fixed. Okay, cool. That's me.
Cool.
I choose Carl.
Let's see. Yesterday was a little bit of a useless day, to be honest. I had grand plans, but then basically just anxiety got in the way. So I was thinking about Steam releasing and getting playtesters in and timing and a bunch of other stuff, and just kind of spinning my wheels on a bunch of that stuff, trying to find a tactical place to dig in and not really coming up with anything. I did get some stats done on what we can capture to begin with. It's really minimal, but I figure once we get that in and start having that stuff come in, we can then start saying, okay, what actually do we need to answer our next question, and then slowly roll that stuff in as we go. That is definitely worthwhile of a thing for everyone to start thinking about, especially designers, as we get playtesters in and we start looking at stats coming in, being like, oh man, I really wish I knew this. It'd be good to start collecting that and thinking through how we get that with data that is useful for multiple queries, not just one specific one. Today I have a one-on-one with Brandon. We have the PL meeting. That's likely going to be talking through the prioritization of the next couple releases on our way to Steam and making sure we have the right thing in the backlog and captured, and capturing anything that we sort of need to shift direction on from the last few weeks so that we can make sure we have a good path towards Steam. Start responding to Jean-Eric as needed. You can sort of see his stuff in the art UI. We'll show it on stream here in a second. And then sort of work on whatever comes up as I finish up that stuff and as we get stuff out of playtests and stuff as we move towards the release. That should be most of my day.
We had a design time that might be relevant to some of that planning. So there's just a doc of the notes that we collected for. Sorry, there's a truck.
That's fine.
I literally can't hear anything.
Or Brandon. We can hear you very clearly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that thing was like rattling around in my skull. It was that loud. All right. So we had a meeting yesterday in design time that went over the various design pieces that we're bringing up in the next sprint. And then we kind of blocked out what we wanted to create in each of those sections so we could better plan for how many points there'll be, or like, how much work we think it'll take.
Yep.
Most of it is just MVP stuff, but I can link that to you.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be useful. I think sitting down this afternoon and just being like, okay, here's where we want to be on the timelines we want to be, what can we actually get done and what is worthwhile, and make sure we're prioritizing effectively would be good. I don't feel like we've had a lot of like whiplash on like, oh, we decided to change these things and so now we're on a total different trajectory. But we also haven't revisited the longer term stuff in long enough that I'm like, okay, let's make sure that what we have in the next release is the right stuff, and what do we actually need to get to Steam early access, and all that. So, so that's probably just going to be the meeting today. I figure for the stream, I think everyone's seen it, but I figure for the stream I'd bring up the art we got from Jean-Eric, which is the first pass on shaders, materials, and stuff. So I sort of left my feedback in there, which is the sort of TLDR is I love the middle ship. The other ships I'm less happy with for varieties of reasons, but I think the middle ship looks like it's kind of out of a Kevin Dart thing. Which is really cool. But I figure get your guys' feedback if you haven't put it in there, or just thoughts that you want to more verbally talk through versus haven't had a chance to type out yet or anything.
No, I like the middle ship quite a bit. Like I said, I couldn't tell if the other ships how much work had really been done on them. So
it sounds like he did do passes on them with the materials and stuff. I think they're just like a combination of.
It's not really their geometry; it's their texture.
Yeah, I think it's more the textures than anything else. The only one that I have questions on the geometry is the bottom right one, because I just don't know if that geometry is going to line up as well as the other ones. But
yeah, I mean, shape-wise, sure. But I was more saying like colorized. in the right way.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the geometry causing that. Like, I don't know why. Like, if we want them all to be that more white bluish thing, then that textures need to be adjusted to be that.
Yeah.
For the material on those.
Yeah. I also feel like we need to figure out how we want to do skybox stuff to fit the style better and all that.
Yeah, it seems like there's a very long ways to go in terms of trying to get it towards where we want to, but I think being able to see, some progress in that space, I think is good for us, to start getting a vision going that direction.
Yeah.
But I personally see like the cell shader work. I think he's doing a good job of extending the cell shader for the kinds of things we might want to do, but it's still in terms of the treatment. I don't see the treatment moving closer to where we want it to. Very similar to like when we were working with the concept art with Chris. Like I feel like there are elements of this that help us get closer, but I still don't feel like the overall treatment, understanding the overall treatment of how to get there, is making progress yet.
Well, we just replace all ships with that middle ship, and we're good.
So you feel like that middle ship actually does line up with what you're thinking?
I mean, there's.
I thought it was pretty distant from what.
Really? Why do you think it's distant?
Because of how how universally luminescent it is. For one, I don't feel that is. I don't feel like that is the kinds of lower level material that you have expressed an interest in. But I think that luminescence is part of it, and isolating that luminescence to certain bands of the rendering is absolutely part of it. That's why I feel like it's progress, but I feel like there's so much more to the treatment that I can't really see. I don't see the path yet. But I see the elements, which I think is good.
Yeah. I mean, I guess. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Brandon.
It just looks very clean.
Yeah.
Like, and I imagine that if we applied this to all of the other, applied what we took from the middle ship to the rest of the fleet would look very. It would very much look like Kevin Dart's kind of cleanly, like cell shaded, very like distinct light, shining off of specific surfaces, but it would lack the grittiness of the Star Wars, like kind of garbage material that all of their ships are made of. It feels like we're more NASA bright vision future than say Scrappy.
Yeah, and I feel like what I want. So what I feel like I want is that sort of NASA vision of the future style, and by scrappiness and grittiness, I think I mean that it doesn't feel sleek, it doesn't feel aerodynamic, it doesn't feel like it was made by a race car designer. It feels like it was made by a bunch of engineers going like, we want it to look kind of nice and cleaned up, but it needs to work first and foremost.
But it's space. We don't need them to look like race cars. Like
yeah.
So we want.
So there's there's probably some model work that eventually we're going to get to where like to take that next step, it's models. But I also think there's some underlying textures, and then the going with like taking this as the upper 20% portion of the visualization and figuring out that the bottom 80% of the visualization in terms of the lighting. But I think that upper 20%, I think that's absolutely, he's made that cell shader really pull off what you were trying to get there.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's like getting the cell shader there, and then like for the lighting stuff, it's like, okay, how do we do lighting inside the game to get the lighting where we want it? But at least the lighting, when it shows up, is appearing in the right way, is sort of like, and that's what I sort of feel like when I look at it. Like it feels the right level of flatness. It feels like the right level of like the lighting is appearing in the right ways for the most part. Like I think there's down the line stuff we want to do where, some of that like instead of being shaded, it just inverts color wise and that kind of stuff that we'd want to do much later on to like really nail the style. But that middle ship feels so much closer to what I want than anything else, right?
Cool. Good. Good.
And yeah, really the intention with him for really it's kind of this week, maybe a little bit into next week. We'll see when he's able to put in the hours that he's promised us. But it is to get sort of that baseline like tools there, and then we're probably going to need to do a bunch of work on pulling stuff into Substance or Photoshop or whatever, and pulling stuff into Houdini or whatever, just to tweak it and get it further. But if we can get that last mile stuff that's hard for us to do, like the shaders and post processing and that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. So. Don't take my criticism as I think he's doing a bad job by any stretch. My criticism is more along the lines of let's just make sure we identify the areas that the elements we see improving, and let's drive those until we get them where we want them, so that we can do that other work instead of kind of doing a little bit on everything. Because I think we won't get there for what we want right now. So.
Yeah, and really for like right now, I want to do the minimum amount of all that nonsense work, or not nonsense work, but like all that other work is like for later, and getting the shaders where what we have looks on the right track for now, I think is fine. Hey Tyson, what do you think? Typity type. Stream interaction. Don't laugh at me. It's supposed to be a thing. I did say it in the thing, but just since you three are here, like, just because I'll be at PAX next week, and we'll only have my laptop, and we'll be roaming around, and who knows when we'll have access to what, it'd probably be good for you guys to get stream ready and up and running and get your overlays set up for this week, just so that we have a chance to test it and fix it before I disappear next week.
Yeah. Actually, at some point, do you mind like doing that whole Streamlabs saving out your scenes again thing?
Yeah, I can do that.
It's not everything, but it includes the images with it. So I have all the latest like headers and everything.
Yeah, I want there's so much stuff I want
to do. And then I guess I couldn't be doing any streaming on Friday either because I'll be at PAX. So.
I guess it's on me and George. But George isn't.
I think you and George may be the only ones here.
Yeah,
that's
true because you'll be at PAX too, won't you, Hans?
Mm-hmm. So maybe I'll get my phone set up to stream, and I can just walk around PAX.
Yeah, we can stream stuff from PAX.
I'm sure the network will do really well there.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I do think that Tyson said in the thing that the skybox is definitely drawing his attention first, and that the teal is going to be a problem.
The teal isn't the skybox. The teal is the stupid space clouds that I just put in there to break up things, and they're colored teal. We should just. I think that just came with the pack that we downloaded, and I just wanted to add some visuals to the world. But when we start really pushing into the direction of our art style, we should figure out something different that actually like fits our style, not teal space cloud.
Yeah, because I think you put those in, Anthony, just to add some visual interest when we didn't have any. So we're going to be doing the opposite when we get to our look and feel. We'll be moving much more towards very simple, stylized skyboxes that allow the other things to pop. So
and like what we use to break up the skybox and everything else. And I think that it will help by if we do some work to block out color ranges or hue and saturation ranges, right? Like, because one thing I've been thinking is just taking a lot of that stuff out of neon and more towards pastel or something, so it fades out a little bit more, and just feels lighter against our not black skybox. As well as like obviously shape and getting out of the more organic and into more regular patterns and forms and blah blah blah. But I do think that just even separating out colors so that it competes less is going to be a big deal.
Yep, most definitely.
So cool. Playtest and bugging and stuff is, I think, on the agenda since we're moving into the back half of the sprint.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we should do that thing. This
Do you have any
window.
bugs that we need to
Check the board.
let's see. Validate ship pop-up closes if you click inside of it, but don't click an interactive button or element.
Is that still
Okay.
is that
Can check that. Bum, bum, bum.
yeah, that's still not done.
Getting latest.
Flagship destructor starting with game over. Honestly, don't know if that's been more fuel. I haven't adjusted any of that. Probably not going to mess with the morale until we get other pieces in.
Turns out Control Z doesn't work
What have we done there? Did that.
there. My computer's gonna freak out. Let's see how it does with the stream.
Did anyone understand Carl right now?
No.
Same.
I hate you.
We love
Same.
you.
I did get to a playtest this morning that where I completely messed up and wasn't able to finish two faction quests, and it made me sad.
Oh. Wait, should I be seeing faction quests yet or no?
Yeah, they'll show up on the second at any time after the second jump.
Oh, after second jump. Got it.
Yeah, you don't on the second jump and after you don't get any on the initial system.
Cool.
And they're not guaranteed to spawn. It kind of depends on the state of the system you're jumping into.
I already like the hour indicators a lot more.
Yeah, actually, I may, if we're gonna do that, switch it so it's not hours and minutes, but days and hours.
Yeah.
Probably would look better.
Yeah, I think that would also telegraph the scale better.
Yeah,
I think you're right there.
it's easy enough to change. If you don't know, Carl, you can use the middle mouse button to go back between forward and back between the different views.
Woo!
I added that because I was getting annoyed.
Uh-oh. Oh, Carl's back.
Oh yeah, Unreal is loading in the background, so it's probably.
Oh wait,
All
who's
over the
actually
place.
playing? I don't even know who's playing.
Brandon is playing.
Oh, so Brandon, that's to you. Middle mouse button takes you back and forth.
Middle mouse button does what?
Switches fleet and system view.
Oh, cool.
Like it will, if forward or to put you in fleet, back will pull you back out. So you don't have to click the buttons. What factions do you have once you get back?
Oh, that's a good question. I didn't look. Oh, yikes. Not a good system.
Oh, you got some quests.
Loyal and indifferent. Scan the frozen wastes. Aggressive exploit of barren planet. I think my aggressive exploit is on cooldown. Yikes.
Your sad times.
Oh man, we real sad. All right. Well, we're kind of. Yep, scan is still on cooldown too. Cool. Really planned for this one. Let's do that. Yeah, that's probably. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, no, you're not gonna get till the
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able
exploit
to do
because I mean it takes 30 seconds to even run once you do
yeah,
use
we
it.
are not doing it.
But you can, I'm pretty sure, scan that frozen planet. You'll get that one.
Yeah, definitely.
But who's requesting the aggressive exploit? Legion. But Swarm is your flagship, so you're okay.
Yeah. Success. Let's see. What else do I have going on? Hydroponics is already on, so I guess we're good. Which fuel do I have? We didn't update the tooltip for the changes to the factory, right?
No, that can put
How
out as a
much does
bug.
it cost right now? 60?
60.
Okay.
Did you check the ship pop-up closes?
Let me do it again. Oops.
So when's it supposed to close?
It says ship pop-up closes if you click inside of it, but don't click an interactive button or element.
Yep.
Yes, that's
Closes.
fixed.
That is fixed.
So the bug was that it wasn't
Hold on,
doing that.
Do that again, Brendan. It's not when you clicked in the middle of it. It's not supposed to close.
Oh, and then it's not fixed.
It was just the other day. Okay, bummer.
Moving it back to bugs.
So what happens if I jump without fulfilling a goal?
Oh, that's a good point. Put a bug into that. You don't fail it. It just
Yep,
goes away.
I don't fail
So
it,
we
right?
should make it so it fails.
Yes.
And penalizes you.
Yeah.
Bug that.
Ugh, I don't want to scan the barren wastes.
Do it.
I don't want to exploit a
Burn
molten
it.
planet either. I want this gas giant. Stupid.
Make your choices.
These factions suck. Exploit a molten planet. I mean, I guess.
It's back.
Suffer.
And so you can also, well, it wants you to aggressive exploit something too.
Legion is Legion is now mutinous.
So I mean, ships don't leave, but whatever ship. I'm curious. Zoom into your ships. I want to see.
Yeah, who is
it would be your military ship would totally.
Yep, my military ship is Legion.
Your military ship would be out of here.
Well, that would have sucked. But here I am, out playing the game. This is all kind of not great. All right, let's play it as if I would. Oh wait, that's not the right one. Okay, there we go.
Hey Brandon, I'm trying to tell by looking at your screen. If you look at the left-hand side where you have 3 different quests.
Mhm.
Are those bumping up against each other?
They are. I don't
Compared
think
to
They
the
are
right?
a little bit, yeah.
Okay, I'll add the same spacing I have on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I didn't scan the barren wastes, but I'm about to exploit it. So
Nope, doesn't work that way. Oh,
it did. It worked.
was that
It said
through
success.
aggressive exploit?
Yeah, because I'm
I know,
assuming aggressive exploit scans and exploits at the same time.
Probably.
Yeah, so it worked. But there's still mutinous.
So I'm adding and planet pop-up close to that first one. And add spacing on.
They're not as mutinous though.
Yeah, they're a little less mutinous, but they still mutinous. Fuck these guys. Oh, that's worth.
Okay, that one's added.
Need a cookie clicker.
It's true. Click, 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 click.
Click, 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 click. Man, I've spent a lot of time in this system.
You have. I mean, you're doing a lot here. I think you're out.
Yeah, time to leave.
Put a bug that the faction menu doesn't go off screen when you jump.
Got it.
Oh, I crashed.
Cool. Event pool stuff, I assume. When it
Probably.
comes up.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait until it loads.
I don't know. When's the last time you synced up though?
Just before I started.
Okay.
I will say that off the bat, the factions definitely gave me something to immediately think about, and the game already started feeling more challenging with the changes to the refinery and the amount of gas that I was getting. Is
It
in a
made you
good
really
way.
want that gas planet.
Yeah, it made me stick around an extra 40 hours to chill and get that gas planet. I was starting to feel that tension of like, ugh, I hate all these people. But I mean, if my military ship had actually mutinied and left the fleet, I'd be so fucked. So this is actually getting interesting. Starting to actually feel challenged, which is nice.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Cool. So we need to figure out those crashes for sure. And we got some bugs.
Mhm. I mean, beyond the crashes, nothing like, oh my god, like, just good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we just need to make sure that over the next 2 days we go through and try and clear out as many of those bugs as we can.
Yeah. We're gonna be doing another build release like Monday.
Yep.
So I'll bump the version
Should
number
all-
as well. To
Yeah, we should all
point.
play on Friday.
Yeah.
And then be ready for release on Monday.
I assume we're also gonna play test on Thursday.
Yeah, we'll
Cool.
do
Yes.
playtest.
Nope, no playtests on Thursday. Only Friday.
Rip.
Yes, we'll be.
I know.
playtesting
I'm
tomorrow.
starting to enjoy playing our game. So
That's a good sign.
yeah.
It's not even a competitive game, so like that's like double extra plus.
Yeah, but the fantasy is really doing it for me. I like spaceships a lot.
It's good.
This
So we
one
just need the Star Wars theme it then.
Oh,
Just go
please.
to EA and ask
Dude.
them like, hey, can we make the Star Wars game?
Dude, I would be
They
so happy.
won't, but
I mean, we would just have to reskin the narrative to be about like running or
it's
being
the
blockade runners.
resistance. It's the resistance. Like post Last Jedi resistance, like trying to stay ahead of the First Order and
Yeah.
like get factions and different people to their side. Yeah, it could be reskinned to that, but
You could reskin it.
EA has zero
Carl,
interest in any of that crap.
None of this. We're doing none of this.
Did
Oh
you
my God.
did you ever hear the story with the Rebel Galaxy Outlaw?
You mentioned that he went to them.
Baldry like pitched it, and like even his original version of it was a spiritual successor to X-Wing and TIE Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
And he pitched it to EA, going like, "Look at like to do this, and it can do it on like this very reasonable, like small budget compared to what they're like. Nah, sure, it will make some money, but you know, not enough money.
Yep.
Not enough money to care.
So we'll have Respawn make big action adventure game. But I'm
Yep.
like,
They should have
I
just
want my space
he
shooter.
He should have pitched it as Alphabet Squadron. Oh my god, I would play that game so much.
Oh, I would play that.
It doesn't
so hard.
matter. You could pitch it to whatever one. They're just like, no, we're not
But
doing
if they did Alphabet Squadron, with microtransactions for different ships, like I would have every B-wing
in existence.
I would have the Star Citizen Gold B-wing that.
Oh man.
Like they could have MWO'd that shit like to the T's.
I think I own like 6 B-Wings from X-Wing First Ed, but they came out with a new X-Wing model for 2.0 that has the rotating cockpit and
Oh my
the
god.
S-foils.
I need to
It's
buy
an
them.
amazing model. And I can't like I still haven't purchased them because I will not actually use them. Part of me just wants to own
You
3 of
won't
them in, like,
use
little
them because you
formations.
don't like running B-wings.
They're pretty not my style in X-Wing.
No.
They're just really slow.
Meanwhile, whenever you would make me a fleet, I would be like, must be centered on B-wings.
Yeah. The B-Wings are really good. It's not because they're bad. It's because they're just not my style. But yeah, they are quite good. And I mean, their S-foil's close now, so
Yeah, I need to go buy some for no other reason than
I'll pick
having
you
the
up one
model.
on Thursday.
Yes, do it.
And I'll grab you one. Belated happy birthday. I'll grab you one.
Yes.
I should have thought of it really, but it slipped my mind because I had forgotten that came out in this wave because like B-wings have been around forever.
Oh yeah, I need to give you your T-shirt today.
Oh, dope.
So cool. Shall
Madness
we?
Quest
Shall we
Wagon.
do some work
Yeah.
I guess so.
and or
Carl,
eat
do you
dim
just want
sum?
to do our one-on-one now? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Or get dim sum right now.
Yeah. Why don't you walk over? I might bring Hero along just to consume
Cool.
food.
Yeah. Let me change and then I'll head over.
Okay.
All right.
Bye,
I'll
bye,
see you
everyone.
later.
Bye bye.